thank you. To say, after following on from Tracy, that's quite a hard act to follow. But since I'm speaking on behalf of Nutria, it will become as no surprise to you that I'm going to be talking about a functional approach to supplementation. So just a little bit about myself first. I joined Nutria last year as a dedicated account manager. I cover the South. I'm also a registered nutritional therapist and have been working for nearly 10 years. My role at Nutria is to work directly with practitioners such as you, providing practical product advice and supporting you with the development of your practice or clinic. I work in partnership with our nutrition team up in Whaley Bridge and the CSMA team to ensure that you get the right level of service from Nutria. If I were going to summarise my role, it would be I'd probably say to guide you through solutions that are specifically tailored for your business. And I'd be happy to chat with any of you afterwards on a one-to-one basis during any of the breaks today. So just a little bit about you. Most of you will be familiar with Nutria. I don't think anyone in the room is not familiar with the company. And you'll be familiar with our products and programs. But just wanted to give you a little bit of a summary. I met with a practitioner yesterday who said, you know, what is it about your products? You know, what's unique about what you do? And I think the best way to look at it is that our products are expert products with body-ready formulas for optimal absorption. So we seek out the most bioavailable or best absorbable forms of nutrients or the most active. So for example, magnesium glycinate for its optimal absorption while being gentle on the gut. Or in our most recent product launched back in November, Curcumin Forte, we provide curcuminoids in a fenugreek matrix. So it's the most natural way of ensuring optimal absorption. All of our complexes are scientifically balanced to ensure the perfect blend of nutrients and the optimal level of efficacy. In terms of professional support, we're keen to share our wealth of knowledge from the forefront of nutritional research through our online resources, and we do host a variety of seminars and lectures, and obviously come out and join our partners on days like today. In summary, we're here to provide you with expert support so that you can support your clients getting back to wellness and wherever they may be on their journey. And anyway, moving on to the main reason I'm here today, which is to deliver a case study. It's not my case study, it's a member of the nutrition team. Michael's the father of one of our team members, and he'd been suffering with digestive issues for a very, very long time. Very, very unhappy with his quality of life, and his daughter finally managed to persuade him that he didn't just have to live with his digestive issues, and that something could be done about his symptoms. So Michael's a 78-year-old male, had a very long-term, years and years worth of long-term bowel and digestive issues, as I think many men will say. It's just something they have to live with, something that they've always had. It's very hard to get them to identify when the onset was, to look at triggers or anything like that. He had been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and he had lichen planus on his lower legs. Now, with Michael being the father of a member of our team, he very kindly agreed to become a case study for us to be able to test the efficacy of a 5R protocol using supplements on gut health. And we were able to use a Genova Diagnostics FX test at the beginning and the end of the process to track his results. So, just a little bit about the 5R gut transformation program that we run. So this is a practitioner-led nutrition and lifestyle program which is designed to address really complex issues of digestive health concern under a framework that can be adjusted depending on your individual client needs. So for many, it's used as a ready-made 6-week solution as a gut health reset, if there's, you know, just to get people back onto the road to health. And then depending on the outcomes at the end of it, you may adjust things and work on further elements. Or you can use it as a framework that you will tailor depending on the needs of your individual client. And as you'll see from this case study, there is actually sort of a degree of tailoring that we actually went through during this case study based on the results we had from the test. So the actual gut transformation program is a set of nutrients, supplements. It arrives in a beautiful box. You have all of the supplements. You've got instructions. It's a supplement program, recipes for diet, food lists, cheat sheets, everything to enable your client to go away and follow a 6-week program. From a practitioner point of view, once a year we run the programs live for practitioners. So people come together, they take the program together, they go through a series of webinars. It's quite an immersive experience with live webinars and Q&A sessions. And we run a very active private Facebook group that's run by the nutrition team to guide practitioners through the experience themselves. Obviously, once you've been through that journey yourselves, you're far better equipped to support your clients doing something similar. Anyway, back to Michael. So Michael's GI symptoms: intermittent diarrhea, extremely severe at times, very loose watery stools, 3 to 4 a day, but sometimes up to 8 a day. And with the bowel urgency that was so severe that he felt housebound when bad, which was really affecting his quality of life. There was also frequent passing of mucus during bowel movements, a lot of gas, and he also had increased frequency of urination. So at the start of the program, did the GI effects test, and I think you can see the results were quite interesting. So on the parasite side, he had Blastocystis hominis, as we all know, a very, very stubborn parasite to remove. He also had Endolimax nana. Now, I'm not sure if I've pronounced that correctly, but both were detected in significant levels. The good news was there was no inflammation to be working with, but as you can see from his digestive markers, he had raised fecal fats and raised protein products, suggesting really poor absorption of protein and fat. On the short-chain fatty acids, he had low N-butyrate and raised acetate, which is a sort of indication that SIBO may have been an issue. So while his symptoms weren't specifically pointing towards SIBO, very good chance of there. Going back to what Tracy was saying, you know, such a high percentage of people suffering with GI symptoms can have SIBO, but it's not at the point where it can be detected through symptoms alone. On his bacterial point, with the commensal bacteria, there was a definite imbalance there, as you can see where the dot is on the chart. So there was Klebsiella oxytosa present, Proteus vulgaris, and the Methanobrevitabacter smithii, very indicative of SIBO in quite significant levels. He had good levels of beneficial bacteria present, so there was Lactobacillus, E. coli, and Bifidobacterium. On the mycology side, he had low levels of Candida albicans and Candida tropicalis detected. So this is where he was at the beginning of the program. Now, what were the aims for Michael? So the aims for Michael were really quite simple, just to improve his diarrhea symptoms and bowel urgency to enable him to leave the house more confidently. What we learned from the test was that it would be necessary to extend the remove phase of the program considerably to ensure that we eradicated that Blastocystis hominis in particular. And then we would condense the following stages of the 5R protocol moving forward. So from a dietary plan, it was quite a simple plan. The idea was general elimination food plan, including the exclusion of dairy, gluten, sugar, and processed foods. Now, they didn't put him on low FODMAP, but just the general elimination plan. And in the program, the food lists and the recipes and the menu planner and everything supported this, which enabled, you know, a 78-year-old man who lives on his own. He was able to follow that plan. He was able to prepare his food, plan his food, manage his life around it. So it's highly achievable, which does help to support clients in terms of their compliance and the diet side of things. And moving on to the supplement side. So first phase of 5R remove. So in weeks 1 to 4, we use the main Candex SIBO as a product that we use as part of the program. So to remove the unwanted organisms in the gut. So the Candex SIBO product, which he was taking 3 capsules daily, was the berberine, oregano, grapefruit seed extract, and the caprylic acid with its long history for use purging unwanted compounds from the gut. Now, in addition to this, because of the test results, for weeks 5 to 12 of the program, a broad spectrum herbal formula, which is the berberine and grapefruit seed extract from Nutria, was used really to try and get to eradicate that Blastocystis hominis. And he was on, for weeks 5 to 12, he was on 3 capsules 3 times daily. So quite heavy to really, really work on removing those. At the same time, we were looking at replacing his digestive enzymes using our product Similase, broad spectrum vegetarian digestive enzyme with all of these in there to support the breakdown of food in the stomach and the small intestine. And he was taking just 1 capsule before a meal 3 times a day of this. So moving on from that, once we'd got through that first 12 weeks of eradication, if you like, they then condensed the last 3 phases into a 4-week program, re-inoculating with beneficial bacteria, which was our Ultra Probioplex Plus product. So just 1 capsule of this a day, and he was taking this before bed, so that the Probioplex Plus comes in blister packs. It doesn't need to be kept in the fridge, lives on the bedside table. Compliance is great, take it before bed. And 1 capsule daily is 25 billion live organisms, 50-50 blend of the Lactobacillus acidophilus and the Bifidobacterium lactis. And these are 2 very extensively researched strains of beneficial bacteria. We also had the blackberry extract to support digestive comfort, and a level of vitamin D to support normal function of the immune system. So at the same time as taking that, we were looking at the repair side of things. So during those weeks, provided targeted nutritional support to support the gastrointestinal, support the integrity and optimal function of the GI lining. So there's the L-glutamine and sustamine. Now, sustamine is a dipeptide that combines L-glutamine and L-alanine together. So they, together with L-glutamine, this has been shown to have superior absorption, stability, and solubility compared to L-glutamine on its own. We've also got the quercetin for gastroprotective properties and the zinc, both to help regenerate the gut lining and to support immune health. So he was taking 2 servings daily for 2 weeks, and then moved down to 1 serving daily for 2 weeks. Where am I? Oh no. And at the same time, because we condensed the program down, so he'd done 12 weeks of the remove phase, and so the last 3 were kind of condensed into 4 weeks. He was also using this product, Nutrimonium, which is normally our retain product for when you're taking people, transitioning people out of the program and getting them back into sort of maintenance and how they want to work going forward. So he was taking 1 serving of this daily. It's foundational nutritional support while we try and get people to maintain a healthy plan going forward. So the advice when you enter into retain phase is to continue to eat healthily, take regular gentle exercise, you know, really work on managing that stress. And I think so many case studies today are going to show how, you know, you can be doing everything nutritionally, you can be doing everything from a diet and lifestyle point of view. If you don't address the stress in the lifestyle, people are going to move backwards and take that step backwards in terms of health. And the other thing is ensuring good quality sleep. So all in all, there were the 12 weeks of remove and then 4 weeks of the remainder of the protocol, so 16 months in total for Michael. So Michael's results in terms of symptoms, so week 10, so this was towards the end of the remove phase, Michael had been brilliant. You know, he'd been absolutely fantastic. He'd followed his daughter's instructions. He'd followed the program really, really closely. He'd excluded foods and reintroduced foods as instructed, and he'd followed the protocol really, really diligently. So for him, week 10, so towards the remove phase, he said he just felt a massive improvement in his symptoms, and he said he felt like 95% better, which is fantastic news. And then at week 16, he felt that he was better. He was able to go out without having to worry about his symptoms, and felt really, really confident with getting back out there again. And in terms of how he felt, you know, he said that compared to how he'd been 16 weeks before, it would have been sort of unthinkable to be able to just go out without having to plan in advance and to think about it and wonder what that day was going to bring. So from a symptom point of view, it was absolutely fantastic. But because this is a case study, we then ran the GIFX test again to see where we were. And the results were mixed, I think is probably the best way to put it. So from the parasite's point of view, the Endolimax had been eradicated, but there was still some blastocystis present, and we know it's a stubborn parasite. There was still some present. His digestive markers had really, really improved, both the fecal fats and the protein products. His short-chain fatty acids were still out of balance, but that's not really a surprise. We know that antimicrobials affect beneficial bacteria. So this would have affected his short-chain fatty acid production. So no real surprises there. In terms of his commensal bacteria, the Klebsiella was gone, the Proteus was gone, and there were improved levels of the Methanobrevitabacter smithii. So definitely a move in the right direction, but not at optimal levels yet. Going into a little bit more detail, we can see down the mycology, so the yeasts were all gone. But as you'd be no surprise when you look at his bacteriology, there was either no growth or very little growth of all of his beneficial bacteria. So definitely a move in the right direction, but still some work to do. So going forward, and I honestly don't know what has happened from this point onward, but Michael was asked to extend the remove phase for another 3 months. Espilagii, our GI Sol product, was introduced to really work on that blastocystis and to help with the growth of Lactobacillus acidophilus. At the same time, he was put onto a diet rich in prebiotic foods, fermented foods, and fibre to help protect the microbiome during this phase. And then the plan is to follow up again so that we can, really understand whether the parasites are gone before they move into a more extensive reinoculate and retain phase going forward. So what did Nutria learn from this, and what did we learn? Michael had reported significant improvement in his symptoms, but the testing had revealed a mixed result. So if we hadn't retested, chances are we would have just put him on a maintenance program, or his daughter would have put him on a maintenance program, but without really getting rid of those parasites, we could have found that these symptoms were emerging again further down the line. What we've actually been able to do, or what she's been able to do, is to extend that program to make sure that, he doesn't take this backward step further down the line. And a final thought, with I don't know if many of you may be aware, we launched an exciting new product last week called Metafucose, and one of the things that's really interesting about the product is that recent research shows that about 20% of the population have a genetic polymorphism that means that they're resistant to the beneficial effects of probiotics. So these are those clients that follow the diets diligently, that you are taking probiotics, but you're not seeing a move in their beneficial bacteria in tests. The Metafucose product has been designed to overcome that resistance. So if you're finding clients aren't responding to probiotics, this is a really, really useful product to be using to try and tip that balance. If anyone wants to learn any more about that, we've got a technical paper on our stand, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about it then. So that was very short. I've finished in terms of our case study. It was quite brief. Does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure how we're doing on time that you'd like to. I can't guarantee I'll be able to answer them, but I'll do my best. Do we need to wait for a microphone? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on my way. Sorry, guys. I've picked the hardest way to go through. Sorry.
You should have said, yeah. They're not in there. How much glutamine would you recommend for a 9-year-old girl with leaky gut issues?
Very difficult question to answer right here. I can certainly do some research back there. What I would say is that some of the products with the lower doses, there is a formula that we apply to work out what can be done, but I really wouldn't feel comfortable making a statement out here. What I can do is look it up and get back to you on that afterwards. Sorry, I can't be more elusive on that one.
Okay, I think we're good. That's pretty good. That keeps us on track, actually. So thank you very much, Sam.